Kiss and tell. My next guest says that California Governor Gavin Newsom is a good kisser, but she's not so sure about his politics. Join me this time from San Francisco is transgendered woman, LGBT activist, Democratic Socialist Bianca Von Krieg. And I should mention she's also a TV and film actress and a Bernie supporter. Bianca, good to have you with us.
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, that was back in the day when he was in San Francisco. And not many people know that Gavin actually used to own like some pretty happening clubs here in an area of San Francisco we call the Triangle, which is in North San Francisco in the Marina. But, we were just kind of kids back then goofing off. And, he's moved on. We both moved on.
Okay.
Interested in more of an older, distinguished guy, and he's kind of a goofy.
So,
I like a Brian Williams.
Okay. So tell me about was it passionate, the kissing with Gavin Newsom?
It was just like, he was just like, hey, you look hot, come over here for a second. And then he, kissed me. And
okay.
It's like, why don't you have a drink? And I was like, well, the line's really long at the bar. It's like, I'll take care of that for you. And so, he'd go in and get me a Manhattan or Cosmo or something like that.
Okay. Interesting. When was the last time you communicated with Gavin Newsom?
Huh?
When was the last time you and Gavin Newsom communicated?
Oh, it's been so long.
Okay.
It's been years. But what I'd like to communicate to him now is with all these power outages in Northern California, dude, maybe you should shut off your lights in solidarity with those people who are just like being sent back to the Stone Ages. So many businesses are going without power in areas that are just recovering from massive fire destruction. And they had the same thing last year. Last summer was the same thing. It seems like every year, their neighborhood just gets destroyed. I don't know if you know this or not, Rick, but one person actually died in Marin County last night in a fire because nobody could call for help.
Oh, man.
More isolated areas with no cell phone coverage, so people started banging on doors, trying to
Terrible story. Terrible. And you're right.
Phones weren't working.
You're right. He should shut his lights out in solidarity. I agree. I hadn't thought of that. Now, you are a Bernie supporter, but you support Donald Trump.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I support Donald Trump.
But you'll vote for him.
But I actually voted for Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
But, here's the thing. I am behind a movement called Bernie or Bust. And what we did is that we basically kind of weaponized Donald Trump to the Democratic Party. We now call them like the Karen-crats. Okay, so the Democratic Party is kind of split. Like real Democrats like me are called social Democrats. And the rest of them are we call them Karen-crats. They talk a good game, but really they're full of beans. Just like Biden. Biden's the original Teddy Ruxpin, and he found Kamala Huxtable Harris. It's just a ridiculous thing. But, you and I talked about this like 2 or 3 months ago. And I said, what does Trump need to win? When Pelosi comes in, that pitiful waste of life, says, I need $2 trillion, he should come back and say, Donald Trump is going to give you $2.2 trillion. Because that's the kind of guy I am.
So why are you?
And it's working for him, right? It's like everything got shut down today.
Why are you supporting? Why did you vote for Bernie instead of Biden when you know Bernie won't win?
Well, here's the thing, right? I love everything that Joe Biden says. I love it. You know how much I love it? I love it the first time I heard it all those years ago when Bernie Sanders said it. So here's the $1 million question. Why isn't Bernie Sanders up there leading the campaign? Why is it after every poll in 2016 said the only person who could beat Donald Trump is Bernie Sanders, that Joe Biden is up there again? They want him to be elected. The Democrats want Trump to be elected in some sort of masochistic, political malfeasance. But
well, some say that they do want, the Democrats do want do want Biden to get elected so they can then influence Biden with more leftist policies. You don't agree with that, huh?
You cut off there.
So many people believe that the Democrat Party wants Biden to get elected as a moderate so they can then move him to the left after election if he wins.
Well, here's another $10 million question. Why hasn't he done that in 5 decades of...
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Half a century. And not only was he senator, but he was vice president.
Yeah.
He didn't do any of that, and it gets even better. Here's the real rub. Because, I saw...
By the way, Trump
called him out on that. Remember that? Trump called him out on that. What have you been doing for 50 years? And he said, well, the Republicans were in charge. I said, what about when the Democrats ruled the legislature and the executive? When did he do any of this stuff except pass that crime bill, which I guarantee you he wants to go into the Wayback Machine to get rid of?
All right. Well, I was about to say that Trump can use what you're saying for his campaign, but
he should use it because people got so mad at me, for not coming on the Biden. It's like I'm not getting on board that Kool-Aid train of defeat Trump by any means necessary.
Okay, Bianca.
If I'm your real candidate, I'll give you a real vote.
Bianca, we're out of time right now. We'll bring you back again. But I think an interesting message, interesting story about Gavin Newsom. And I think it says a lot that a LGBT activist, transgender woman from San Francisco has chosen not to vote for Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of us here. One actually named the border wall after her, the Nancy Pelosi border wall.
All right. Bianca Von Krieg, we thank you for joining us.
All right.
Back after this.
Politics and Profits with Rick Amato is brought to you by Liberatory Accounting, the IRS problem solvers. To find out how Liberatory Accounting can help you, call 877-6-SOLVER. That's 877